Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post new videos every week. So the number one thing every nail technician wants to try to do, beginner or advanced, is speed up your work. Time is money, and the faster you are, the more clients you can see, the more money you can have. Right now, I'm gonna give you some tips on how you can speed up your work and be quicker without losing or jeopardizing the quality of your work. Right now. First tip that I can give for you is time yourself. When I was a tech in a shop back in the day, the first thing that I used to try to do to try to speed myself up so I can kind of keep up with the flow was time myself. So you want to start timing yourself from start to finish, especially, or if you want to take it in baby steps, let me just file a little bit quicker. Let me just do my application a little bit quicker. We know nail art takes longer, so that's to be discussed later on. But timing yourself is a good way to see, let me just see how long I actually take. When I'm focused and I'm not really too distracted, how long do I take? And then just start trying to shave off 5 minutes every time. Let me just take away 5 minutes. Okay, I have a 2 o'clock, I'm scheduled to finish at 3:30. Let me see if I can finish at like 3:15. Let me see if I can do this and that. Just start thinking about how you can cut down your time a little bit. But you need to time yourself. You need to know where you start so you know how much more you need to eventually speed up. But just remember, if you are doing this, we are not going to, again, cut the quality of our work. I'm not telling you to skip steps, especially in your prep. Nothing that I do in my application or throughout my nail services, I'm gonna cut a step if I'm trying to be quick with someone. I'm gonna do everything, but I'm just gonna move a little bit quicker. So again, we're not taking away the quality of the work. We're not taking away steps, but we're just simply trying to speed up what we're doing. The second thing is know the tools that you are using. So for example, your acrylic brush. If you are somebody that's been doing nails for a long time and you are using a very small acrylic brush, that is slowing you down. As you advance in your career, you should be upping your size and brush. Yes, you might feel comfortable with this brush, but it will eventually slow you down. So a tip from me to you is that one way to know if your brush is slowing you down is if you are doing your application and you feel like, okay, I could be moving a little bit quicker if I could pick up more. That's the first sign. If you feel like your brush is slowing you down, and it's a feeling, and if you're a tech, you get it. I can't fully explain it, so I hope I did well with that. But that's a huge sign that maybe I'm just gonna go from an 8 to a 10. Baby steps. We don't jump from 8 to 12 or 14. We're not starting at 14. You should be starting, FYI beginners, number 8 is ideal for a beginner nail tech. So you should be starting at a number 8. If you are a beginner tech, you should not be starting at a number 12 or 14 brush. You should be starting with a number 8 until you get your mix ratios correct, because then your brush is holding a lot more liquid, which is getting on your client's surrounding skin, which could cause some type of allergic dermatitis. So we want to just make sure that we are using the correct brushes and tools. I have a video that I will leave above when I'm talking about speeding up your application process, and you can go check that out, and I get more into details about the different types of brushes and other ways that you can kind of speed up your application. So another thing is know the proper steps of the service. We've all done this before. You've done nails, you've done a step before, you know the steps. So knowing the proper steps of what the service is going to be can help you move a lot quicker. Remember, quicker does not always mean speed. A lot of the times we are doing unnecessary steps, which is prolonging the whole service and the time frame. So remember, we're gonna work smarter, not harder. So for example, let's say you're doing an ombre set. We won't do one finger at a time. That's time consuming. I'm not gonna lay my white, then my cover, then my clear, and then come back. What I like to do, again, from me to you, is I'll do one hand at a time. I won't speed it up. If I'm being really trying to be really fast, I will do all 10 fingers. Apply your white, apply your cover, apply your clear. While this dries, we're doing this. So now I know when I'm done with this is definitely dry. So that's one way you can speed it up. If you are doing one hand, one finger at a time, it's gonna end up slowing you down by just taking the steps to do it. And you know the steps, you know how to do an ombre. If you know how to do an ombre, then you know what you need to do. So why are we taking baby steps? You have to, again, start working smarter, not harder. And again, in that same example of doing an ombre, have all your supplies ready. So if I'm doing someone's ombre set, I'm not gonna grab my white, then we're gonna do the white, then I gotta turn around and grab my nude, then we're gonna do that. I have everything out in front of me. I have my paper towel, my monomer, my white, my nude, my clear. Everything is right there, and I'm dipping and we're moving, because again, an unnecessary step is to have to stop what you're doing to turn around and open the next container. Keep them all open. You know what the steps are. You know the process. So you can begin to speed yourself up by just having everything out and ready for you. If I'm gonna be encapsulating anything, once me and my customer finalize what she's going to be doing and what's going to be encapsulated. If I have to cut up some little bit of foil, if I have to grab some glitters, I'm going to have that again. I have my monomer, my powders, my paper towel, and I have what's going to be encapsulated right on the side. So everything is ready to go. I'm not going to stop in the middle of doing that and start cutting stuff up and unnecessary steps. So just think about when someone says, I want this, this, and that. What's the supplies that I need, and gather everything and get it ready so you can begin your service quickly. So another tip that I have for you is slow down your application process. So I know you're like, what? I thought this is about speeding up, but let me explain. I know it sounds weird, but in actually slowing down your application process, everything else will help speed you up for that overall time. If I know the prep process and I can speed through that, we're gonna dehydrator, primer, buff, all that stuff, all that good stuff, have all my supplies out. I'm gonna actually do I'm not gonna speed through the application, because again, I'm not gonna compromise the quality of my work to speed up. We're not doing that. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna take my time during the application process. You want to begin to master your application process so you can file as little as possible. And to be honest with you, this is something that I've always done, and what ends up happening is I barely have anything to file when I'm done. I do half hand filing, half e-filing, if I haven't explained that already. And most of the time, I'm just kind of blending in the cuticle, kind of roughing it. If I really wanted to, I could probably just do it all with the hand file. I don't really need the e-file, or I can just use the e-file a little bit. But getting that application as nice as possible, especially by the cuticles, especially getting the apex. If you just take a minute to slow that down and nail it and master your application process, it's gonna speed up the filing and the buffing. So you're basically done with that part. So like I said, it sounds weird to say slow it down, but slow it down for that part. That part we wanna just kind of take a minute, make sure we're doing it right, because then there's less things that I have to fix when I'm filing. Another thing is set up before your client comes. Don't wait till your client comes for their full set to start putting certain things out. I know I'm gonna use this acrylic powder on my customer. If you have an everyday acrylic color that you use on like a standard color, if somebody doesn't want anything extra, why am I gonna have it all the way to the back somewhere where I gotta dig for it? Why am I gonna use this time right now to fill up my monomer container, or to make sure my Dappin dish is full, or acetone is here, so on and so forth? Have it all ready. Most people work on appointments nowadays, unless you're in a shop. But even so, if you are in a shop, you do have downtime. In between people, make sure everything is stocked. Don't say, oh, you know what, I need a buffer. Let me run to the back and go grab it. This is things that you should be doing, one, in the beginning of the day when you set up, checking your inventory, making sure everything is stocked and ready. But if not, before your client comes, make sure that everything is ready to go. If you're doing pedicures, my pedicure situation is set up. My clients walk in, I have water, we're ready to go. Why am I going to waste time and have you sit down that I'm gonna run and go get some water, fill up the pedicure tub? Unnecessary steps. I knew you were doing a pedicure when you booked the appointment. I know what time it is. I knew you were coming. So let's get started. I'm gonna fill the pedicure up with some water. I keep it a little bit hotter because let's say if I'm filling it up maybe about 15 minutes before, I wanna give it time to, if it does cool down. But if someone's coming to do nails, especially if I know the nail art color, a lot of you techs just do nails. If they sent you their design ahead of time, I know what colors I'm gonna use. I'm gonna take those colors, I'm gonna pull them, and then I'm gonna put them to the side so that if we have to make adjustments and I show her these colors, let's say she's like, I don't like that pink. That's the only one I gotta like go back and fix. But I have it already set up already. I have a good idea of the colors I wanna use, the nail art I'm gonna be using, the brushes that I'm gonna be using. Everything is kind of ready to go. So again, we can speed ourselves up by just simply setting up before the client comes. And lastly, nail art. Nail art takes some time. That's one thing that if you are a tech that does nail art, you can't do but so much when it comes to nail art. I mean, things just take time. You have to curing, you have to make sure you're curing. Again, we're not gonna have somebody under-cure something just because I'm running behind or I wanna speed this up so I can go eat or go home for the day. So nail art does take time. And again, this is why we wanna make sure the first half of the session goes as quickly as possible so we can get to that other half. So just by doing certain little steps, it'll kind of speed up the process. But when it comes to nail art, simply having stuff organized is going to be the key for you. If someone tells me right now, I wanna do a foil nail and a bling nail, I know exactly where to go. It's organized, it's right behind me. I have everything labeled. So I'm like, okay, foil, which container has foil? Well, let me pull this out, let me grab that, so on and so forth. So don't have all your little nail art, what are they called? Jars, just in a drawer. Have some type of organization with yourself so you know, okay, all my glitters are right here. All my confetti is here. My bling is here. This is here. This is where my glue is. And also try to organize your space accordingly. All my nail art is to the back of me and everything that goes with nail art is there. I'm not gonna have my bling glue on my table or somewhere over here and this. I have all my hard gel stuff together, all my acrylic stuff is together, the nail art stuff is together. So when I'm looking for something, I'm not flustered and looking all over the place because again, that's an unnecessary step and I'm wasting time. So having good organizational skills is going to be very crucial. If you are interested, if you have not seen the video, I have a nail art tour where I show you how I package everything behind me and how everything is labeled and everything. I will leave a link above and there's also a link in that video to the containers that I use. They are a game changer. You know what? Let me just show you in 1 second. So you can still go check out that video, but just to show you really quickly, this is how all my nail art looks. So I have everything labeled so you can see what's in what, and they come in these super handy little containers. So, okay, someone wants bling, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my container. And the cool thing that I love about these is that it's individual components. So if I just need large stones, I can just pull this one thing out and I can have this on my desk. Again, a lot of times being organized is going to kind of mentally help you a little bit better. If I just had a whole tray of all different rhinestones and but it was a little bit all over the place. When I'm working and doing my nail art, I have to look around. Okay, wait, I wanted the big one, I need the small one. Unnecessary steps. So this one is like, okay, I'm gonna use the big one. I have my mediums, I have my smalls. I know exactly what I'm doing. So these are super duper, and you get a lot. You get, I don't know, I speak about it in other videos. So again, go check that video out if you're interested in how I organize all my nail art. I'll leave a link above for that. So I hope this video has helped you out in speeding up. Try some of the steps that I'm trying to say to you. Trust me, they work. I've used them in my career. But first and foremost, we want to begin to time ourselves. It's important to know where you start. How long does it take you to just do your prep and your application and your filing? We're not going to talk about nail art. Well, you can always work on that. And again, you can't really speed that up, but so much. So start to say, okay, look at the clock, time yourself. You have a watch. Start what do you call it? Stopwatch. You want to get a stopwatch and you can you can time yourself that way. You can just look at the clock above you, however you're going to do it. But just start to see, how long does it take me? If I just seriously like sit here, I don't BS, and I'm just going to work normal. How long does it take me? Start there. Then say, let me try to shave off 5 minutes, like I said. And also practicing your application, because again, the better we get that, the quicker you can master that. And I don't want to use the word master as in being super duper fast or proficient with it, but the better you are going to get with your application, it will speed up your filing, and that was going to save you a lot of time. You notice too that what I found that when I go to the nail salons or what I see people do is they actually are opposite. They slap on the acrylic real quick, and they're so reliant on their e-file and filing, and they spend so much time filing people. This is why people are terrified of e-files. This is why their natural nails are damaged and all that. So besides speeding up yourself, it's also just a better skill to pick up. The less filing you do, the better it is for your client and their nails. If you guys have any other questions or comments or suggestions, maybe you found something that worked for you to help speed up your application and you want to share with others, please leave me a comment below. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.